After posting my previous video, I was lost on what to do next. The SCP games were fun to make, but creating 3 of them in just 4 months completely drained me. On top of that, my Robux was running low as the recent games hadn't done as well as I'd hoped. I needed something fresh, something people would actually want to play, not just to look at once and move on. And then I received a Discord DM from a small YouTuber called CLOFE'S, asking if I wanted to partner up with him to create a game. Usually I would say no to messages like this, but something about this one felt different. I saw huge potential, so I said yes. In a nutshell, we'll be creating a game like Insane Elevator, but instead of monsters, the players will be hunted and killed by famous streamers. And for release, the main streamer will be CaseOh. This time, the goal isn't just to make something scary. It is about creating a game that's actually fun, intense, and hilarious all at once. And trust me, the game turns out so much better than I ever expected. So let's get straight into it. I had to start by finding a very big and round CaseOh model to use for the game. As usual, I went searching on Sketchfab and there were loads of good CaseOh models, some of them even having separate big versions. I chose the one that caught my eye and tried importing it into Mixamo. Unfortunately, it didn't work. He must have been too big. I checked the comments of the Sketchfab model and it seems as though other people had issues with CaseOh taking up all of their storage space. I then found a better looking model for $19, but it was worth the price. It took a couple tries and fails to import it into Mixamo, but eventually I managed to get it to work. I then spent a long time exporting a bunch of animations, and when I tried to import them into Roblox, the model looked all screwed up. I had a quick look in Blender and quickly found out that the beard was the problem. It turns out that CaseOh's beard was like 30,000 vertices, and for reference, the Roblox limit is 10,000. And since the beard was connected to the rest of the mesh, I had no idea on how I would separate it. So I messaged the modeler that helped me with my SCP-106 femur breaker, asking for advice. And after not too long, he gave me a solution that worked perfectly. What a legend. That meant that I had to re-download all of CaseOh's animations and import them into Roblox once again. And the model was fully brown. I then spent hours and hours fixing loads of different issues that came up, but eventually got it working. Why the hell was importing the CaseOh model the hardest part of this video? By this time, I was very tired from trying and failing for so long. So if you want more content like this, then be sure to comment or even hype the video. Finally, the CaseOh model was imported perfectly, along with all of its animations. I was so happy to get this done. It was then time to get CaseOh working, so that he can chase the players and kill them. The plan for CaseOh's attack is to have him roll over the players, instantly squishing them to death. Firstly, I created a pathfinding module for the game that I'll be able to reuse for the other streamers, which makes any NPC just chase the nearest player. I'm really experienced with this already, so it was pretty quick and easy to get done. I then added a script which connects CaseOh to this module, so he chases the player. He has 2 different run speeds. If he's far from the player, he runs faster so he can catch up to them, which plays a faster run animation. And when he gets closer to the player, he slows down a little bit and plays a different running animation, which makes him look like he's ready to roll. This worked perfectly, and thankfully at this point, I hadn't run into many issues when coding his AI. It was finally time to work on his attack, the roll. He's gonna roll over players, instantly killing them. I mean, look at him. You have no chance of surviving. I spent some time playing around with his attack code and created a decent looking roll functionality, and it's so funny. Have a look at this. I then got together some sound effects, such as footsteps and a CaseOh talking sound loop. The talking loop took ages to make because I had to watch a bunch of his videos and find some funny voice lines to use. And after collecting a bunch of them, I imported them into FL Studio, and yeah, they're loud. But luckily, in-game they sound great and make everything a lot funnier, while still being intense with the chasing. No! Find this dude and ban him from the stream now! Finally, to finish off the CaseOh roll attack, I created an animation that shows the player being squished and added it to his attack. Look how funny this is. Now, of course, CaseOh needs a special map to set the mood. Something full of food where he would go feral. After some thinking, we decided to go with a grocery store map. It is the perfect idea. Full of food and lots of space to run around. For this, we needed to find a good builder, as neither me nor CLOFE'S can build very well, as you can see from our lobby. Unfortunately, I hadn't fed my previous builder Minion in my basement won't for a while, so he couldn't do the job for us. Maybe next time. I then asked my Discord server if any of them had a good portfolio to show me and would be up for the job with a short deadline. And after basically no time, we settled on a new builder who was down for the job. He had a really good portfolio. I sent over the details for the map, then prepared some assets for the builder to use with the map. This turned out to be a nightmare because every time I uploaded textures, a bunch of them would get automatically taken down, even if nothing was wrong with them. There was no easy way to appeal these either. So after hours, eventually all the assets were ready and the builder got to work. In the meantime, to make the gameplay more fun and competitive, we also decided that we'd make a shopping cart that will trip other players up, so people can try and get each other killed by CaseOh. I found a nice looking shopping cart model on Sketchfab and imported it into Roblox. It took quite a while to get the positioning right as the model kept moving with the animations, but after some tweaking it looked perfect, sitting in front of the player. I also made a holding pose so it actually looks like the player's holding the cart. We then made it so that the cart trips other players over if it touches them, and players who have the cart equipped can run a bit faster. This will be incredibly funny to use in game. I then worked on improving the lobby, and I made it look a lot nicer. We will keep improving it as the game progresses, and if the game performs well, we'll probably hire someone to build a new one from scratch. But for now, we've tried to keep the budget as low as possible. Now, you can't have an elevator game without some extremely catchy elevator music. So I hopped into FL Studio and composed some elevator music for the game. I then added it to the game along with a short intermission while the players are standing in the elevator. Listen to this, it's actually a vibe. The next morning, CLOFE sent me a DM saying that we should make the enemies slippery. Yeah, he's a bit freaky sometimes, but I knew what he meant. He wanted the movement to be like Next Bots, which I'm sure you've all seen before. They have momentum, so you can break their ankles, and it just makes the chase a lot more intense and a lot more fun. Unfortunately, I had no idea where to even start, and that's when I discovered Roblox's controller managers. They basically replace the humanoid physics and give you way more control over the movement. There was one issue though. The entire enemy AI system was made to rely on the humanoid. I had to not only replace the humanoid with something that I had zero experience coding with, but also edit the entire AI system to work with the new controller. All of this without knowing if it would even work properly in the end. So I hopped into Studio to play around with it, and holy shit, it was confusing. For hours, I tried different methods to try and get it to work, wondering whether I should have just stuck with the old system. Look at him, why is he going the wrong way? But eventually, after almost giving up so many times, I finally got it to work, and it was so worth it. Look at how I can juke CaseOh now.
What even is a 1x1 Lego piece?
While I was working on the AI and the other things for the game, CLOFE was working on tons of other features for the game. First, he started off with the round system.
When I build a main game loop, I always write out exactly how I want the game to play out in these little comments here. Just super simple notes. And I have to do this super neat because if I don't, UK Darky might actually kill me. But it's a really good thing because we're going to be able to edit it a lot easier later.
No, I would never threaten him. Definitely not.
You weren't meant to share that.
Jokes aside, the round system ended up working perfectly, and CLOFE then went on to making the shop for the game.
If you open up the shop, you can cycle through these different frames. I've added some cool passes, including things like X-ray vision that will highlight enemies nearby, as well as players that are close by. You can see them through the walls. So this is going to be a huge advantage.
This UI design is incredible, isn't it? This guy is just so talented. After that, he made some leaderboards for the lobby.
So it lists the top stumbles here. And as you can see, the top player is dancing at the top, which right now it's me with a large sum of 0 stumbles.
What I've shown you just now is just a tiny fraction of what he's done for the game. There is way too much to show all of it in this video, but great job, CLOFE. Comment WCLOFE down below if you've watched the video this far, and I'll be sure to heart your comment. While all of that was going on, our builder was cooking. After weeks of work, he finally sent over the brand new grocery store map. And holy, it looks insane. The detail on this map fits the game perfectly, and I can't wait for you guys to see it in action. After tons of behind the scenes development and so many bug fixes I didn't even have time to show here, we were finally ready to test. I pulled together about 25 players, some from CLOFE's server and some VIPs from mine, and we ran a few chaotic rounds. By the way, if you want to to be part of future tests, then join my Discord. Link is in the description. The game has honestly come together so well. You can trip people up with weapons, earn subs mid-round to unlock new gear and emotes, and even upgrade your stats to survive longer. It's chaotic fun, and this is just the beginning. If you want to check it out, the game link's in the description. And if you play in the first month, you'll unlock this limited edition emote forever, so get in early. If you want more videos like this, then subscribe, and I might give you 1 Robux.